So you want your fish to look like they're floating in air, right? That clean, glass-like water where everything looks sharp. No haze, no fog. No, why is my tank cloudy again? Good. You're in the right place. Because today I'm giving you the real checklist on not one or two tips, not three tips, the full system. 10 simple habits that make aquarium water look insanely clear, especially in cichlid tanks where waste is heavy and cloudy water is common. And here's the deal. Most people try to fix cloudy water with bottles, clarifiers, chemicals, magic liquids. But the truth is way simpler. Clear water comes from boring habits done consistently. Small routines that remove waste before it turns into fog. So in this video, I'm giving you 10 easy fixes, no science lecture, no confusing talk, just steps you can do today. And stick around, because the last tip is the silent killer. It's the one that ruins even good tanks slowly over time. And most people don't notice it until they feel like their tank just never looks good anymore. Let's go. First, let's be clear about what cloudy water actually is. Cloudy water is usually just tiny stuff floating around. Food dust, poop dust, sand dust, debris, sometimes bacteria bloom. In other words, it's not some mystery curse, it's particles. So everything we do today follows one rule. Stop creating extra junk and move the junk you already have into your filter faster. That's the whole game. Okay, tip number 1, stop overfeeding. If you're new to fish keeping, I can almost guarantee you're feeding too much. Not because you're stupid, not because you're careless, because you care. You want your fish to eat, so you drop food, then you drop more. Then you see one fish miss a pellet and you panic and add even more. That's exactly how tanks turn cloudy. Fish food breaks apart fast. The moment it hits the gravel, it becomes dust. That dust floats, and the water loses its glass look. Here's the simplest feeding rule that fixes most tanks. If food hits the bottom and sits there, you went too far. The best method is microfeeding. Drop a tiny pinch. Watch them eat it before it hits the bottom. Drop another tiny pinch. The moment pellets start falling and don't get eaten, stop. That's your limit. Fish do not need a mountain of food. They need small, controlled meals. And in cichlid tanks, this matters even more because heavy feeding doesn't only make food dust, it creates more waste later too. Tip number 1 alone fixes a huge percentage of cloudy tanks. And here's a bonus truth. Fish often look healthier on slightly less food because less waste means less stress and cleaner water overall. Now don't skip the next one, because tip number 2 is the reason a lot of people think their filter is bad when it's actually their cleaning style. Tip number 2, stop stirring the substrate like a blender. A lot of people don't realize they're creating cloudy water every week with their own hands. They vacuum the gravel too aggressively, they dig deep into sand, they move rocks around during cleaning, they scrape algae and shake everything loose. Then they wonder why the tank looks like milk for 2 days. Substrate holds fine dust. When you disturb it hard, you release it hard. Some of it gets filtered, some of it floats for hours, some of it settles again, then it gets stirred again next week. The fix is simple. Clean gently, not violently. Vacuum the top layer. Don't dig deep unless you actually need to. If you have sand, don't jam the vacuum into it like it's gravel. Hover over the surface, lift the debris, and let the sand fall back. The goal is not perfection in one day. The goal is steady cleanliness without dust storms. And here's the fun part. Once you stop making dust clouds, you'll finally see what your filter is actually capable of. And that leads directly into tip number 3, because most filters are not weak, they're just built wrong. Tip number 3, build real mechanical filtration. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings in the hobby. Biological filtration keeps your fish alive. Mechanical filtration makes your tank look clean. Sponges and floss are the particle catchers. If your filter only has big coarse media, it will let fine dust pass right through and your water will never look polished. Build your filter like this. Coarse sponge first, then medium sponge, then fine floss. Coarse catches big chunks. Medium catches smaller stuff. Fine floss catches the dust. That's how you get that sharp, expensive look. And yes, you still want biological media too. Ceramic rings, bioblocks, whatever. But that's a different job. Most people hear this and say, okay, fine, but my tank still has that tiny haze. Perfect. Because tip number 4 is the cheap trick that removes that last layer of fog. Tip number 4, polyfill. This is the cheap cheat code. Polyfill is ultrafine. It grabs the microparticles you can't even see clearly, but your eyes still feel as haze. Put it in your filter as the last stage, right before the return water goes back into the tank. Within 24 to 72 hours, many tanks go from okay to glass, and it's cheap. When it turns brown, toss it and replace it. Don't wash it, don't overthink it. Fresh polyfill does one job, water polishing. And once you see what polyfill catches, you'll realize something scary. Your tank produces way more junk than you think, and a lot of it never reaches the filter, which is why tip number 5 makes everything work harder without you doing extra work. Tip number 5, add flow with a wave maker or power head. You can have a strong filter and still have cloudy water if debris never reaches the intake. It gets stuck behind rocks, in corners, under wood. Dead zones. Dead zones are where cloudiness and waste build up quietly. A wave maker fixes this by keeping junk moving. It lifts the debris and pushes it toward the filter so the filter can actually remove it. Remember, your filter can only clean what passes through it. Flow is what delivers the dirt. And yes, flow also helps oxygen and reduces that stagnant tank feeling. Now here's where many people mess it up. They add flow, see particles moving, panic, and do a massive water change. That's exactly why tip number 6 exists. Tip number 6, stop doing panic water changes. People see cloudiness and they dump half the tank fast. That often makes things worse. Why? Because big fast changes stir debris, stress fish, and can even trigger blooms if your tank is sensitive. Instead, do controlled water changes. Keep temperature stable. Keep your routine predictable. Small to medium changes done consistently beat random massive changes done emotionally. Stability clears tanks faster than panic. And if you've ever felt like, I do water changes but the tank still looks off, you're going to love tip number 7. Because the problem isn't the water change, it's what you do to your filter right after. Tip number 7, clean your filter the right way. This is where people destroy their own progress. If you rinse sponges under tap water, you can shock the system and trigger cloudy blooms again. If you replace all media at once, you basically reset everything and the tank becomes messy again. And if your media is clogged, water finds easier paths around it, meaning dirt slips through and returns to the tank. The fix, rinse mechanical media in old tank water during water changes. Never replace everything at once. Replace one piece at a time over weeks. And always keep flow strong. If your filter output suddenly drops, don't ignore it. That's your system telling you the media is clogged and bypassing. And here's a quick warning. If you do this one wrong, you can chase clarity forever and never get it. But if you do it right, you'll start noticing something else. Sometimes the cloudiness isn't coming from feeding or filters at all. It's coming from what you put inside the tank. Tip number 8, watch what your tank is made of. Some decorations literally create haze. Certain rocks shed dust. Certain cheap gravel sheds. Some substrates weren't rinsed enough before setup. If you notice your tank always looks slightly cloudy no matter what you do, the source might not be food. It might be the materials. Fix. Rinse anything you put in the tank until water runs clear. Use quality substrate. And if you recently added something new and the tank suddenly looks hazy, remove it and test again. And here's the part most people miss. Sometimes your water is actually clear, but your tank still looks cloudy. That brings us to tip number 9, the fastest visual fix in the hobby. Tip number 9, clean the glass like it matters. Because it does. Dirty glass makes water look worse than it is. Fingerprints outside, algae inside, hard watermarks, these all destroy sharpness. And sharpness is what makes fish look present. A tank can be healthy and still look messy if the glass is neglected. Clean glass restores depth instantly. Use a magnet cleaner inside. Use a microfiber cloth outside. If you keep it consistent, it takes 1 minute and never becomes a chore. And once you clean your glass properly, you'll notice the real truth. Your tank doesn't fail in big dramatic moments. It fades in small quiet ones. And that's exactly what tip number 10 is about. Tip number 10, stop the slow neglect that ruins tanks. This is the silent killer. This is the one that slowly destroys that sharp, clean look without drama. The waterline drops, media clogs, polyfill gets dirty and you forget to change it. You start feeding a little more over time. Algae builds up, dead zones return, nothing explodes, so you tolerate it. The brain adapts. You stop noticing the decline because it happens gradually. And then one day you look at the tank and it doesn't look bad. It just looks tired. The fix isn't a bottle. The fix is rhythm. Great tanks aren't perfect. They're maintained. Consistency beats effort every time. A massive cleanup once a month will never beat small habits done weekly. That sharp floating fish look isn't a one-time event. It's what happens when nothing is allowed to drift too far. Now I'll give you a few bonus moves that take your tank from clean to ridiculous. Bonus tip 1, cut your light hours. Too much light fuels algae and green water fast. Most tanks don't need 12 hours of light. Try 6 to 8. Less algae, cleaner look. Bonus tip 2, don't overload the tank. Heavy stocking means heavy waste, which means you need stronger filtration and more routine. There's no way around that. Bonus tip 3, don't use tiny filters for big cichlids. Cichlid tanks are heavy waste systems. They need real filtration power, strong flow, strong mechanical stages, and enough media volume. Okay, wrap up time. If you only do 3 things from this video, do these. Feed less, add flow, and polish the water with fine filtration like polyfill. Those 3 alone transform most tanks. But if you want truly sharp floating fish water, you need the full system, the habit loop. And if this video helped you even a little, don't just like it, lock it in. Subscribe, not for me, for the fish. Because on this channel, we don't do aquarium tips, we do aquarium truth, the kind that saves fish before they start dying one by one. Now don't leave yet. The next video on your screen is the missing piece. Watch it, because one small mistake can undo everything you fixed today. And I want one thing from you. Comment your biggest problem right now. Cloudy water? Algae? Aggression? Cichlids not eating? Say it in one sentence. I read every comment, and your problem might become the next video. This is Dark Cichlids. We don't chase upgrades, we remove friction. Now click the video in the top right corner and meet me there.